When you have a spouse that comes in that maybe has less financial literacy, or maybe they weren't driving the finances in the relationship, so they have no idea what's been going on financially. Perhaps they don't even have any funds coming in because the other partner or ex-partner is in control of all of the finances. How do you handle a situation like that?
Well, I try and help the person see that there's no one to blame. When you're in a relationship, you hand over more responsibility. My partner, he calls himself pipes and pathways. If the septic on our farm, the alarm goes off at 2:00 in the morning, I'm not getting up doing that. And he's also not the one doing the Excel spreadsheets, figuring out how much money we spent on, chicken food. Everyone has their roles. So if the person in front of me is feeling that they have put themselves in this position and they're feeling bad, I try and help them feel and understand that that's just the situation they're in. And if they're also sitting in my office wanting to blame the other person, then I also will try and help them be open to the possibility that, well, again, this is just the reality. This is what we have to deal with. And it's really not helpful to them to be sitting in a situation of feeling like the victim or blaming their partner. So that's where the mental health professionals come in. That's where you help parties move towards other conversations. We can move more towards the legal conversation when you've got over blaming your spouse for managing the Aldland Brown portfolio, for example.
Yeah. Taking accountability of where you're going to take it next instead of looking at what's happened in the past, but how you want it to look in the future, perhaps.
And putting your feet on the ground helps you feel a little bit more in control.
So you work with financial advisors, therapists, parenting coordinators as well?
Parenting coaches, mortgage brokers, work with real estate agents, business valuators. Really and truly anybody who I think my client could benefit from having a conversation with.
And do you have, when you're working with business valuators, do you have people that can, or I often hear people say, oh, he's hiding money. I'm sure you hear that probably more often than not, that they think that they've funneled the money off to the Grand Caymans and you need somebody to do a forensic analysis of the bank accounts because they don't know where all the money's gone. What do you often do in those cases when, tongue in cheek, perhaps that's not happening, but there's just a lot of mistrust?
We talk about the trust jar in dispute resolution, where you first of all acknowledge the way the person feels and you help them feel that they're not alone. I will say to a client, many people sitting across the table from me feel that there's hidden money, and there may be, there may not be. Suspicion is not evidence, and I try and normalize the way they feel about things and offer suggestions as to how they can gain the information themselves. Hiring forensic accountants is expensive. In this day and age of electronic tracking, there are ways to find things that you're looking for. And if those are resources that are needed, then we can refer people to that.